Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and in honor of the release of Hogwarts, I decided to review the original Harry Potter movie, the first one of the 7 movie series, and of the book fame, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, I watched the movie before I ever got into the books. Now, all disclosure, I never really read the books, because these books came out when I was a child, when I was a kid, when I was in elementary school. And it was one of those funny things with the book was, it was such a thick book. Like, I mean, not looking back, it was a thick book, but it wasn't actually that thick of a book. But like, as a child, I saw that book and I was like, no. So I was like, I'll just watch the movies. And this movie was hugely influential on me as a child. First of all, as many of you know, you've been following my channel, you know I'm into fantasy, you know I'm into sci-fi, you know I've Witcher, all these different shows and things of that nature. And I really do love sci-fi and fantasy in particular. And the Harry Potter movie, particularly this first one, holds a special place in my heart, even above some of the other movies that are admittedly better. But this one holds a special place in my heart because of the wonder of it. I'll never, I often say this, when I say this to friends, I say this to people. You can never get the first time you see something back. It's why if you ever notice, you might think, it's why if there's a show or a movie that I'm really anticipating, sometimes, particularly if it's on Netflix or Hulu or something, I'll just straight up kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll straight up put it on the back burner because I want to experience, because you never can get your first time experiencing watching something ever again. I say it all the time, I'll never be able to get back watching The Avengers for the first time. I'll never be able to get back watching John Wick for the first time. I'll never be able to get back watching these hilarious comedies and things of that nature for the first time. Hearing the joke for the first time. Seeing a gag for the first time. Seeing an action sequence for the first time. You'll never ever really get that back. It'll always be cool, but it'll never be cooler than when you first saw it. And seeing the first Harry Potter as a child was definitely one of those all amazing experiences. With this imaginative world of the Harry Potter universe and Hogwarts, this magical school and the wizards and witches and the wands and the world itself. And just for those who don't know the story of the Harry Potter world, the story of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is about a little orphan boy named Harry who's been living with his asshole, I suppose aunt and uncle. I can't remember if it's his aunt or his uncle. I believe he's living with his aunt and her fat husband and her even fatter son. They're awful to him. The kid's sleeping in a fucking cupboard, dude. He's basically sleeping in a closet. I don't know how I don't know what's going on in Britain, but damn. And then, like I said, they treat him like crap. Now, we find out later in the series why they were treating him like crap. It was more of an insecure thing for a reason. There was a reason that they were treating her pretty bad, or his aunt was encouraging them to treat him pretty bad. But I digress. And he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He's an innocent kid. It's sad he never got to meet his parents, and this is the life he's known. And he's a good, innocent kid. And along comes someone to pick him up and bring him to this school, this boarding school, Hogwarts. And it's all this confusion, all this of course he's he's excited to get the fuck out of this environment anyway. So he's like, okay. And it's kind of a summer school type situation. And it turns out that his mom and father were great, well-known, well-accomplished wizards. And that he is the son of these wizards, and that he himself has the power of a wizard inside of him. And now he's being taken to this school. He meets friends, obviously Ron and Hermione. He experiences this world. He uncovers, and most of the first movie is about him asking questions about his family and figuring out how they died and who they died and who was the responsible for their deaths. And as we all know, he who shall not be named, Voldemort. The Harry Potter movies, now the books did too, but the movies created this awesome, amazing villain in Voldemort who would appear later on in other episodes. Though, this movie had one of my all-times, when I was a child, this shit scared the fuck out of me. Now, As it turns out, in the movie came out in 2001, so if you haven't seen it, you're probably... So, spoiler for a movie that came out damn near 22 years ago. But... Well, maybe it has been 22 years since it came out. I think, actually, yeah. But either way, there's, like throughout the course of the movie, they talk about Voldemort, or He Who Shall Not Be Named. Which is pretty cool, which is pretty badass for a villain. We don't even want to say his name. They all think this dude's dead, by the way. They're just like, we won't say his name. We don't want people to even think about that guy. But I digress. So He Who Shall Not Be Named, aka Voldemort, throughout the course of the movie, while Harry's, learning magic, learning to fly a broom, learning to do all these spells, Expelliarmus, all these different types of spells, while he's learning, beefing with Malfoy, fucking, winning points for fucking Gryffindor and all these other things. While he's doing all that, in the backdrop, it's kind of this whole plot with Voldemort trying to get to Harry. Because, as we find out, a bit of Voldemort's power was left in Harry's scar. The scar, he has the boy who lived. There's something they also call him, the boy with the scar. He has this lightning bolt scar right here. And for some reason, a bit of Voldemort's power is in that fucking scar. So Voldemort's, throughout the course of the movie, you kind of see Voldemort's trying to get to Harry. And we don't know where he is. We know he's around, but we don't know how or where he is. Turns out he's on the back of some dude's head. That visual scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid. The whole Voldemort talking on the back of that one dude's head. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? Scared the shit out of me. But it's so fun too. Obviously, Ron Weasley is, to me, Ron and Hermione, the Harry Potter movie, I don't know how much the books do it, but quite often, they often say that the side characters are really the stars of things. Going all the way back to fucking, what was it, Princess Bride and whatnot, going back to the original Pirates of the Caribbean. Quite often in great adventure movies and things of this nature, the side characters are the funnest characters. And the Harry Potter movie is no exception. Hermione is a very brave, very intelligent, very quick on it young girl who has a bright future, and she's gonna have an answer, and she's gonna figure that she's gonna Sherlock Holmes this shit. And Ron is just a dude. Ron is just an everyman dude. He's got this huge fucking family, which many people, not me, but many people can understand when you have a huge family of multiple brothers and sisters. Mini story here. Once, I was in an environment with people who were people like family, and it was a lot of us, like me and my cousins, and we were there, and I was staying for a week, and it's a different environment when you're surrounded by family all the time, and that's the cool thing about Ron and his family, his mom, his dad. They're just so down to earth, and they're just such good people, and and that's the only, and obviously you got Hagrid, and Hagrid's such an awesome, warm, loving guy. He's great, and obviously you got Snape, played by the great Alan Rickman, and that character is obviously very, you think you feel one way about him. He's kind of an asshole, and obviously you got Dumbledore. Dumbledore, who is the wise elder statesman, the one who can give Harry a bit of wisdom and kind words that will, when it's timely and to be heard. Like I say, this movie has it all. This movie has it all. It's I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's personally my favorite of the Harry Potter movies because there's an innocence to it that you can't get back. This movie has a lot of Studio Ghibli Spirited Away vibes to it. When you really go back and watch it, if you just imagine this in animated Studio Ghibli form, you could believe this was a Studio Ghibli movie just because of the vibe, just because of the innocence, just because of the heart, the livelihood. I mean, we all as children wish we could be there. Every child who watches the original Harry Potter movies, I wish that was me. I wish I could go there and be a wizard. Now, granted, as me and my friend Seth have talked on many, many, many fucking occasions, Hogwarts is the most dangerous fucking school on the planet. I mean, it's the X-Men. It's Xavier's School for Institute and Hogwarts like this, dude. Hogwarts is dangerous as fuck. First of all, it is a bit scary that they got ghosts and shit just roaming the hall. And these aren't just the ghosts of people who die gruesome deaths. Alright? There's a ghost of a dead student in one of the bathrooms. Just around. And it's just like, what? It's just like, what the fuck, dude? There's a dead student spirit in the bathroom. Like, Hogwarts is low-key scary as fuck. It's dangerous as fuck. And it's one of those things where, like, especially when I was a child watching it, I didn't think about that. Later, as I get older and start thinking about it, like, that's a dangerous-ass school. And I'm going to tell you right now, because I'm playing the Hogwarts video game at the moment, and I will be reviewing that as soon as I can, too. I want to get a little bit more stuff. I want to play it a little bit more so I can give you a little bit more rounded of a review. But I can tell you right now, Hogwarts is the most dangerous fucking school. One of the most dangerous schools in fucking fiction. Well, yeah, fiction. Like I say, maybe the the Institute is pretty fucking dangerous. I'm trying to think, but the Hogwarts is up there, all right? Minor spoilers for people who don't know. A giant snake was roaming the hall and killing people, and no one saw it. That's how dangerous that school is. But either way, this is a classic for me. I love this original Harry Potter movie. It's a special place in my heart. It's my childhood, honestly. It's a big part of my childhood. If I had to give this one a review, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I think it captured the imagination of a generation. It became the series of anyone who is 25 or older. This is the series. 25 or older, well, okay. Anyone who is about 25 to 27, this is a series you grew up with. If you're 25, 27, you grew up with this book series, you know it, you remember it, you probably watched all the movies, and some classes had you actually read it in school. Now, we didn't have to read it when I was going to school. When I was going to school, the books were coming out, but they weren't required reading. But some of them are. Like, I know Narnia was a book that we had to read. I like Narnia, but the Harry Potter books are very good. It's so much potential in this franchise. I hope these movies can start doing something with them. But anyways, I love this movie. What did you think about the original Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone? Do you have fond memories about it? And what is your favorite movie of the series? Or maybe you don't like the series. Either way, comment below and let me know. Thank you guys for joining the Come Get Movie Show again. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.